Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. Welcome back to another live show. And today I have the Mavic Air in the studio and we're going to talk all about it. Stay tuned for my live field test, exhaustive testing in the field like I've done with every drone. So what we're going to do now is just look at the drone, pull it out of the case, look at the accessories. I got the Fly More bundle in red, and you can check out epicdroneshow.com, go to the store there, and you can find all of the Mavic Air colors and various things. Welcome, SoCal Seth. What's up? Fly High Guy. Welcome aboard. I got a big audience coming in. This should be hopefully an epic show. Now, what I've done so far, and I'm going to share with y'all all the components. You know, any questions you have, ask, and we can pull this Mavic Air out and answer it. One thing worth mentioning. The first thing I discovered with the Mavic Air is the iOS, the type connector that's used for an iPhone or an iPad or an iPod Touch. It's already in the controller. So if you were like me and you unboxed it and you didn't see that, it's because it was already in the controller. The controller, if you're used to the Mavic Pro, it's similar but it's different. There's no screen. But in my mind, that's an advantage because, you know, that's just a smaller thing that you have to travel with. Welcome aboard, Ron. Welcome aboard. Now, obviously, to charge this little piece right here that connects to your phone, you know, you got to disconnect that and plug in the charger there. That's the point of confusion for a lot of people. And it's... yeah, Ron says, just like the Mavic Pro, the iOS lightning cable is pre-installed. So that's the controller. Does have sport mode, which is cool. Can't wait to try this out. Now, since I got the Fly More combo, we've got Michael Kincaid. Welcome aboard. Worth mentioning, Michael Kincaid, I think, got his Mavic Pro way before a lot of us, and actually he braved it more than I've ever seen anyone brave a brand new drone. And he took it out over this huge body of water and flew a long way, and then realized that his battery was getting low and he had to crash land, and he did not retrieve the drone until the following day. So check out his channel, Michael Kincaid, on YouTube. Actually, he's watching live now. Let me post a link right here to his video. Let's see here. Be just a second. I'm going to put it in the comments. Bryn Mag Productions. Welcome aboard, man. Welcome aboard. So here is Michael Kincaid's video. I'm going to shoot y'all a link to where he goes out and just flies it for the first time. But fortunately recovered it. I mean, it was painful to watch until he had recovered it the next day, because, I mean, that's a huge loss if you lose your drone during the first flight. So there it is. And let's see. Let's look at this. Some people already have their Mavic. Some people don't. So I'm just going to go through all of the various accessories. So this right here, you may be familiar with this. This is the charging brick. And again, I got the Fly More bundle. I still got the little shrink wrap on it. But this is the charging brick. Cable, power cable goes into it. And then what you see right here, see, it's got two USB ports on it. So this cable is USB cable. This is what I use to charge the controller. Again, I pop out that side piece, pop this in to charge it. And it's worth mentioning that this has a USB-C, so that's why they include this piece, because the remote does not have a USB-C. It's got this style. I forget the exact name. Is it Mini B USB? But it's the same thing I use for my Sony Alpha camera. So you got to put that on. And then you can put that into this, you know, power brick, plug this into your wall. One thing I like about the Fly More combo is that I get this battery charging base. So I've got 2 batteries in it now. One battery is in my Mavic Air. Now it doesn't, not to be confused with charging all 4 batteries, up to 4 batteries concurrently. What it does, it charges one and then rotates among the uncharged batteries. So this is really cool. Being able to charge 4 batteries. I mean, obviously the Mavic Air Fly More combo that I got came with 3 batteries, so I'm going to buy a 4th battery at approximately 20 minutes of flight time. Again, to be tested in the field. But that's probably around 80 minutes out of 4 batteries, and to have batteries that are that small, I mean, look at that, fit in the palm of the hand. So I mean, it's a huge step forward in my opinion. Let's see, got tons of people tuning in, B Hendo, welcome aboard. He says, was watching your unboxing and I didn't even realize you had a live show. Yeah, what I had to do, I had to wait on that unboxing to upload because it was a huge video, and then I immediately started the live show. So, yeah, the batteries for this thing are small. The, let's see, I'm going to put that back on the charger so I can charge while we're doing the live show. Can't wait to get the first field test. Haven't even field tested it yet. So, the prop guards, because I got the Fly More bundle, I got the prop guards with it. And what you may notice, if you put these in your if you put these in your hand, actually spark comparison, I don't have the spark here with me, so I'd love to do a side by side. I think I don't know, I don't want to speculate because I don't have the spark here with me. But yeah, these prop guards, you'll notice they're very lightweight. Some of the complaints for regarding prop guards for previous model DJI drones is that they were too heavy, and people said they added weight to the drone, they adversely affected flight dynamics, etc. But these are really cool because if you look in them, each one towards the base is labeled. So like that says RF, so that's right front. This one says LR, that's left right. And then this one is RR, rear right. And then LF, left forward. So it's kind of cool how these, and see these connect, the sides connect. So there's actually a piece on the side that connects the prop guards. Check out my prop guard video to see that. B. Hendo made a great point. He said, my biggest initial gripe about the Mavic Air is where the SD card goes and how difficult it is to take it in and out. That's the problem. That's the first problem I encountered. Actually, during one of the first problems during the unboxing video, or wait, maybe it was my follow-up review video. I filmed a few videos so far, but I couldn't do it with a fingernail. And actually, I had to get assistance of. I just took a power plug and got the little prong from it and just barely put it in there so I didn't scratch it. But that's going to become troublesome, you know, taking that micro SD card in and out. Also, inside that same bay area is the USB-C port. So we're going to open up. Let's open up the Mavic Air here and show y'all exactly what we're talking about. B. Hendo says he has to use a penny. John says, did yours come with an SD card? Mine did not. And I ordered the Fly More bundle. So mine did not come with an SD card. But it did have, the unit itself has, I think it's around 8 gigs of integrated memory. But that's built in. That's not a user removable card, I don't think. So here it is right here out of the, and I got the red. I got the red because, you know, when you're looking at something in the sky, typically the sky is blue, white, combination of both. Trees are typically green, brown, that sort of color. So this should better stand out. Now the bottom of it is predominantly black, but there are red pieces. And then as we unfold it here, so the way I remember how to unfold it, look at the camera. So that's the front, and look at the rear. That's the rear. So you got the rear first. You pop out your rear. See, that pops out like that. So then rear and then front, and they kind of go forward. See, it's a different motion. Now to fold this back up it's the opposite. So instead of doing rear first, you do front first. So you do front, that side, and then front, that side. And then you do the rear, that side, and then rear the other side. It's actually very intuitive. It feels very well made. It doesn't feel as if it's something that'll wear out over time. But see, now with the props on, this will fit back inside of the carrying case. So that's super convenient. I really like how I can do that with the Spark. You know, the Spark was limited to 1080p video, but the Spark didn't fold. So this is again, a huge advantage that the Mavic Air has over the Spark. Not just the 4K video, but the ability to fold up, and then moreover, more importantly, rather, the battery life. Again, to be tested, but on paper, battery life is supposedly around 20 minutes. Now, you know, as you probably found in the past, battery life is something that's often overstated. It's something that they, in optimal condition. So next to no wind, this, that, and the other. So in the real world, having not flown my Mavic Air yet, I'm expecting probably, 16, 17 minutes just to be conservative. Maybe get a little bit more. Bryn Mag says, will you use filters with the Air? I'm going to test it first because actually, with my most recent Phantom 4, I got to where I didn't even use an ND filter or a CPL polarizer. I just used the, I guess it's just a UV filter, or maybe it's not even a UV filter, whatever comes pre-attached to it. So let's take a look at that up close here on the Mavic Air. So again, I'm going to unfold it. I'm going to do the rear first. When you unfold it, you do rear first, but when you fold it, you do rear last, if that makes sense. So I'm unfolding the rear side there, and then the other rear side. They just kind of pop out. And now I'm going to do the two front sides. They just go forward. And then you got these little landing gears, so they pop out like that, see? So, I mean, the ease of opening and closing this, or I should say folding and unfolding, it's very intuitive. Well, it's very easy once you've done it once. You just got to make sure you remember the correct sequence. So, to unfold, do the back first and then the front. And then when you're finished flying, to fold, do the opposite. Do the front and then the back. And you'll know if you do it in the incorrect order because when you fold it, it won't fold properly enough to be able to fit inside of the case. So that's a way to remember it. Michael says 11 minutes max on full charge running sport mode wide open. Okay, so that's the racing mode. So that's... Have you tried without? I know you did sport mode in your first flight, that we linked in earlier, where you had to perform an emergency landing because of low battery. But have you done it? Have you had the opportunity to fly just in regular mode to see how much flight time you get? Biendo says, just bought the basic $7.99 edition. Cool. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't ordered this yet, if you haven't ordered the Mavic Air, or if maybe you're looking for another drone, just go to epicdroneshow.com and then go to store, and that'll take you to all the drones and the accessories. So, I'd appreciate that if you're in the market, check it out. Driver's Advantage says, do you think people should hold off buying until the next Phantoms are released? Well, here's my opinion regarding that. And you may have noticed that when they released the Phantom 4 Pro Obsidian and the Mavic Pro Platinum, that I had zero interest in those. I never picked up those drones, never wanted to have anything to do with it. This drone I jumped right on. And the reason I did, and again, I'll be able to confirm this once I'm able to take it out in the field and film quite a bit with it. But with this, I was able to immediately jump on ship and order it, just for the reason that it's small, that it's lightweight. It does 4K video. It's got a 3-axis gimbal. Spark only had a 2-axis gimbal, so this is, from a design perspective, greatly superior to the Spark, not just because you get 4K, but you also get a 3-axis gimbal. So on paper, this thing should be a solid performer. So, you know, with that being said, and with the awesome design and the attention to the, you know, to the thermals, so, you know, they put these vents on there to try to keep it cooler, this, that, and the other. This is something I can throw in my backpack because, you know, obviously it has this case. It's not waterproof or ruggedized, but to throw in a backpack, this is all I would need. It's very lightweight. Throw it in there along with other camera gear, along with lenses, extra batteries. Again, these batteries are, I mean, look at this. They're super duper small. Just pop right in. I mean, carrying multiple batteries is not going to be an issue. So if I can get as good or better video quality in 4K from this as I could the old Phantom 3 Pro, not even talking about Phantom 4, but just the Phantom 3 Pro, if I can meet or exceed Phantom 3 Pro performance in 4K with this drone, then it'll be a winner because it's a lot more portable. It's just cool. Now, some things that, you know, I don't want to sound like I'm overly optimistic about this. You know, I haven't flown it yet, but some things that I'm worried about before I fly it is that this does not use OcuSync. This uses something, it uses Wi-Fi, but apparently it's an enhanced iteration of Wi-Fi. So hopefully the Wi-Fi performance of this would beat, let's say, an old Phantom 2 Vision Plus. Phantom 2 Vision Plus was good at its time, but, you know, if you've flown those drones with Wi-Fi and then you started flying an OcuSync drone like a Phantom 4, just the overall reliability, the FPV, everything is just so much more refined. But to answer your question, would you hold off or would you get this? I mean, that's completely up to you. I mean, it's imminent that DJI will release a Phantom 5, and I think the Phantom 5 is going to be the most prosumer grade Phantom 5 we've seen. I think they're going to reposition DJI Phantom to be the prosumer drone. I think we'll probably see a Mavic Pro 2, and it'll be a very high-end Mavic Pro 2. Probably something that's going to replace what the Phantom previously was. We may even see the Inspire. It may be discontinued, or it may be completely taken to a completely different segment and not even advertised among drone hobbyists like ourselves. So, I mean, that's something that you know, time will tell. Would I hold off on buying the Mavic Air? I would probably hold off until I take this thing out and fly it, because I'm going to share with you not only the footage but the entire experience in the field. You know, no sugarcoating, none of this. This is not a pre-release version of the drone. This is a drone I bought, went out, and you know, I'm not getting something before it releases. This is something I got after it released. So I'm going to give you a fair and honest review, and that's where I'm coming with this. So I mean, I don't know what to say right now, but watch my videos when I get them up within the next day or so. Check it out, see for yourself, and if you like it, I'd say go ahead and jump on it. And if you do, go to epicdroneshow.com to the store link on there, and you can find all the drones. That's my website. So check it out. You know, it helps me out a lot. Now the let's see, B Hendo says, my initial thoughts on Wi-Fi was it's still a little sketchy on the strength. Haven't noticed anything significant. Michael Kincaid, he says he can confirm that Wi-Fi kills the Spark. 13K distance and still had more to go. Again, please don't be a dummy like me and find that out. Find out that far. Yeah, and Michael, by the way, again, if you're just tuning into the live show, and it's approximately 9:15 p.m. New York City time right now, but if you're just tuning in, check out Michael Kincaid's channel, because his maiden flight, he takes his Mavic Air out over the water and had to perform an emergency landing on a beach and then perform a search and rescue mission to rescue his drone. Unfortunately, he was able to rescue it, but you know, that's got to be a bad first experience, you know, thinking that you may have potentially lost your brand new shiny Mavic Air. But it's a cool video, that's for sure. I'm sure it wasn't that cool filming it, but B Hendo said, I had Wi-Fi issues with Mavic Air at 800 feet. Let's see. And B Hendo says, plan on doing a 20,000 foot test flight compared to my Spark video where it lost signal. So what I'll do in the field, and follow me on all my social media if you haven't already. Facebook.com/IrixGuy, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and of course YouTube. And check out my website epicdroneshow.com, because I want to test anything. I mean, I'm going to start out with just an overall field test. Going to take this thing up in the air, a safe and acceptable location. Take it up in the air, see what it does, check out the battery life. And since I've got multiple batteries already, after the first flight, then I'll go out and experiment with some of the features. So we'll check all those out. May not get all the features tested during the first day of flying, but I plan to get them as quickly as possible. So as you watch those videos, let me know what's missing, what else you'd like to see, and I'll try my best to get out in the field and test that. But what I think it was B Hendo earlier that commented about this too. The door on the back of this, I mean, it is it's the first one. Oh, there it goes. It comes out now. Maybe it'll loosen up over time, but see, that's what you've got to open to access your micro SD card. And there's also a USB-C. C is in Charlie that's in there. So that's a USB-C port, micro SD card. And a lot of people have asked, can you charge using the USB-C? And I don't think you can, but let's just, since I got my charger right here, I'll take off the connector that's converts it, I think, to what's called a micro or mini B. And we're going to stick this in. And there's nothing on the battery to indicate that it's charging. So I think that pretty much tells us, maybe that's something with firmware update that they'll enable. It seems silly to have such a portable drone yet disallow it from charging from USB, because that would open up, you could charge in the field with solar panels, with USB port and all kinds of stuff. But I don't know why that's not available, at least with the current firmware. What I'm going to do with this back door on this drone, and I don't know if this will affect the flight dynamics. I'm not worried about the micro SD card popping out during flight. I've even considered just ripping this back door off because it is such an inconvenience to open and close. But maybe if I just partially close it like that, maybe that'll be the workaround. Because see, then I can at least get a fingertip in there and not have to use a tool. So we'll give that a whirl tomorrow and see. But I wish they had done a better job with this micro SD card / USB-C port door, because that is annoying. Bieno says a controller where it folds up is hard to plug in the cable without coming out of the sliding bracket, and it's annoying. I'll agree. The controller design, I like the size, but I wish they would come out with something where instead of having our smartphone down here, smartphone mounts that kind of that you put on top of a tripod, and you squeeze them, you pull out, and then springs make it close, and it grips the side of a phone. I wish they had something like that would do this, because I didn't like it with the Mavic Pro either, where you've got your smartphone down below, and especially if you have a case on your smartphone. And I've got a very low, slim profile case, so mine will barely fit in here, but it's a tight fit. I wish they would address that, because that's kind of you probably don't want to take your phone out of the case unless you're cleaning it. And if you do, if you're out flying your drone in a field with your phone unprotected, that's probably the time your phone is going to get dropped or wet or damaged in some other way. I like how these little sticks come off. It's just a few screws counterclockwise, and the sticks come off the controller. And then obviously these fold down, the antennas, and then that. So from a travel size and travel weight perspective, This controller is very convenient. And obviously by taking those sticks off, you don't have something to get hung in luggage or other stuff in your pack. But to put them back on, you just stick it down, turn clockwise. Super simple. Just do that for each side. And just a very, very nice, intuitive process. And now we're going to look at the prop guard. So this is RF. This is right front. Again, to tell the front of the drone, just look at the, where the camera is. So there's right front, and something I learned with these. So there's right front, and then there'll be right rear. Let me find the right rear here. So there's the right rear. What you want to do before you put them on, the right side and also the left side, they've got this piece where it connects in the middle. You just push that. And then you lay this over the bottom of your drone. Well, you need to open up the things that close on it first. And then, let's see. Okay, this is right front and this is right rear. So this just goes on like that. They kind of fit snug against the motors. And then you just snap that. So I mean, nothing too groundbreaking here, but something that better protects the drone and objects around it during flight. So I've always been a big advocate of using prop guards, even if you feel you don't need them. There's always a possibility that when you land, especially on like a boat that's rocking, that it may topple over during landing and it could break a prop. Not that it makes the drone any safer, in my opinion, because people could still get their fingers caught in there and chopped up. But it does at least provide it creates the perception of the pilot being a safety conscious person. And that's important because of how much negativity is in the news today pertaining to drones. So, I always use prop guards. Being the drone evangelist, always use prop guards just to set a good example for the hobby as a whole. So, yeah, they look cool. The this Fly More combo I got came with a larger bag too. It came with this. Now I don't know how much I'll use this bag. I primarily got the Fly More combo because it came with the extra batteries. But see, this bag right here is kind of cool because you got a slot for 1, 2, 3 batteries. 3 batteries in there, which is nice. And you put your chargers and all that stuff. So, from that perspective, I could see how someone might enjoy using this bag. Now, does it have room for the drone in the bag with all that other stuff? See, that's where you run into issues, is that your drone won't fit in there. So I guess you could just put your drone in without, let me see if it'll even fit. Those batteries go down below. I don't get the purpose of the bag. Behendo, the red is shiny. It kind of looks like, if you look like a red sports car, the paint on that, that's what I would compare it to. And it's shiny because it is a fingerprint magnet. I've got fingerprints all over it already, and I'm disappointed about that. So before I take it in the field tomorrow, I'm going to give it a scrubbing and get those fingerprints off, because there'll be hopefully a lot of good photos from the field during the maiden flight. Ron says prop guards can tend to make your drone float in the wind. Yeah, that's true, because they can grab the the air grabs it more. We're going to take the prop guards off. We're going to fold this thing up and see if and how it would fit in the bag. The bag I got with it, with the Fly More combo. See, with the 5-more combo, I got extra props too. So I mean, there was a reason behind getting that. So again, to fold this up, when you open it, it's rear first and then front. But to fold it, it's the opposite. So I'm going to do front, which is where the camera is. And then I'm going to do the landing gear. Don't forget the little landing gear down below it. I'm going to do front over here. And then I'm going to do the rear last because I'm folding it up. And this will probably become second nature after you do it a while. But the first time doing it, you know, it was definitely something where I was following the instructions very closely. So there it is. Let's see if this will fit in the bag. See, that's what I don't get about the bag. Why would they have made... Why make this bag that won't fit the Mavic Air when it's... I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep all my charger and stuff in the bag and then just kind of keep it back at home base and just take, in the field with me, just take, you know, this case and then the batteries. Maybe put the batteries in a LiPo bag or something. Ron Brown says, I hardly ever use prop guards on my DJI drones, more so on my toy drones. Yeah, that's true. I mean, prop guards aren't really, I mean, these, if you know what you're doing, these drones basically fly themselves because they are so high tech. And I just do it. I don't know. I've always done it. But I love this case. This case right here, I mean, just the way this fits this. I mean, that is perfect. I love that. And I mean, this is... You can get this case individually as well if you don't want to get the Flymore bundle. Just check out my website, epicdroneshow.com. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, Kevin says maybe it'll fit in the bag sideways. See, that's what I tried. Let me... Or you know what? Maybe the back of the bag here. It's got like a stuff area. Oh, it's a zippered area. Let's see what's in there. No, not there. And see this top part, that's where I tried to fit it on the side earlier, and it just wasn't quite wide enough. I mean, it was almost wide enough, which that makes me wonder, why didn't they just make this thing a little bit deeper so it could accommodate that? You know what? I know what it is. No, that's the controller. The controller goes over there, so that would be the controller space. I don't understand why. I don't know. Let's see. Let me zip this thing back up. Let's see. Ron says, should I sell my Spark and use the money to fund my Mavic Air purchase? I mean, the Spark was fun, but the Spark, the battery life was for me, with my purpose being capturing 4K video, I couldn't do 4K video with the Spark. And then the battery life wasn't significant enough to, I don't know, there wasn't enough battery life. The 1080p was decent. It was actually good quality, but when I upconverted, I was still doing upconverted footage instead of native 4K. I mean, I don't know. I mean, my response would be, if you have the need to film 4K and you need portability, you know, wait a few days, check out reviews, check out reviews from others, check out my reviews, and make that determination. I mean, I wouldn't just rush out and do it, because as more of us get the Mavic Air, you know, we may find problems with it, or it may be the best drone yet. I mean, it's hard to say. So I would probably hold and decide. Ron says, I like the small size. When I purchased my Spark last summer, it was my go-to flyer due to its small size. Well, and see, that's why I'm thinking this is probably going to be the bread and butter, because it's what the Spark should have been. It's got 4K. It's foldable. That was one thing with the Spark that I disliked, is that I couldn't fold it. So I always felt like if I was, you know, traveling with it, that it would be easy to damage. And with this, I mean, sure, this is not waterproof or ruggedized, but this case in a backpack that's, you know, got a rain fly or something on it, is probably somewhat well protected. And yeah, I mean, it's, again, I've got to get this thing out in the field, hopefully in the morning, and get some test flights for us. But from a pure design perspective, I mean, it has impressed me. Now, I don't know, you know, again, I would never make a recommendation until I've tested something. And right now, I can just talk about the build quality and the just the overall design of it, and that has impressed me. But I would wait. I mean, you know, do what you want to do, man. But whenever you do it, go to epicdroneshow.com and check my links there for the drones. But one thing we didn't do is take the gimbal guard off. I think this is much improved. Number one, they darkened this, so there's no confusion as to whether or not it should be used during flight. Obviously, it should not be used during flight because it's dark. And number two, it limits the mobility of the camera. So it's obvious. That was a question with the Mavic Pro. Should I fly with the gimbal guard? Should I not? Well, at least with the Mavic Air, they made it straightforward and said, hey, this is not to be flown with. I think if I was them, I would have taken it to the next level and actually put etch something into this plastic piece that says remove prior to flight on the piece itself. Or maybe, I mean, it is semi-transparent. I probably would have made it blacked out, so, or make it a bright yellow or orange color so people know that it's not to be flown with. But yeah, I like how it goes on and off. And see, hear that? It snaps, it clicks. So you know that's on. It's not like, I would say this is the best transport gimbal guard yet. The best thing to put on your, I mean, out of all the drones, Phantom through present, this is definitely the best protective piece for travel. I agree. STK's Adventure Channel says, what's the weather like there for some test flights tomorrow? Well, I'm not in the BWI, so the weather is probably going to be probably cold. So we'll see. We'll see what it's like. But one thing's for sure, this thing's going to be red hot because it's the Mavic Air in red. Love that red color. I hate that it's shiny though. It looks cool, but look at all this. You probably can't see the fingerprints in this, but it's a fingerprint magnet. And I don't know, that's annoying. Ron says, I guess the real question, should I sell the Spark and the Mavic Pro and replace them with just one drone in the air? Well, I don't know, I would wait. Again, wait and see. Wait a few days. Check some reviews. There's a lot of reviewers out now that are not the pre-release drone crowd. I mean, people like Michael Kincaid, for example, that's on this live show that's already posted a ton of Mavic Air videos. He's full of honest reviews. And there's a lot of others out there that are starting to pop up as well. But, you know, base your opinions upon the actual honest review camp versus the pre-release crowd that may not even have a production version of the Mavic Air. But I would wait and see. Michael asks, what are your thoughts on non-folding props? Well, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they perform. I know I've heard chatter that, you know, these may sound, the sound of this may be pretty loud for the size, but I don't think a folding prop would make a difference. I think since the props don't fold, it probably makes it easier when you know, when you fold this up for transport, because they're just straight lines versus something you got to bend and negotiate that as well. And anytime I see something that's one continuous piece versus folding, that's one less thing to break or potentially fly off during flight. You know, if you've got a poor connection there, that could be catastrophic. So, you know, something to be aware of. Ron says, come down and join me in Nevis. The weather has been great. Yeah, I love Nevis, St. Kitts. Really, actually overdue for the Spice Mill in St. Kitts. One of my many favorite restaurants in the Caribbean. Really love the Spice Mill. I got to get back down there and eat and do that stuff. So, B Endo says, I heard that the folding props decrease flight time. You know, it's highly plausible, and if you think about it, I mean, something that's, well, once it's in motion, you know, it stretches out, but I bet the folding props probably aren't as rigid as something that's one continuous piece. But again, I'm not, you know, I'll claim ignorance on that. I'm not an expert on that topic at all. So, Flying with Stan says, hey Michael, great videos on the distance test. Again, talking about Michael Kincaid, check him out on YouTube. Posted the link earlier. Michael Kincaid's distance test with Mavic Air. He almost lost his drone, his Mavic Air, his brand new Mavic Air, during his first flight because he was flying into wind on the way back, and it really started to deplete the battery. And that's actually a good lesson learned for the Mavic Air, is that, you know, expect to have lesser battery life. So if you're used to flying, say, a Phantom 4 for a Mavic Pro, you know, get to know the battery life expectations of the Mavic Air first, unless you really want to have some fun like Michael did, which, I mean, he'll probably never forget that. I mean, it's one of those life memories right there. So, yeah, it's Biendo says, I had an experience with using the droney feature and felt like it was flying away on me. I had that experience with the Spark, with the droney, and I don't know, they got a new mode on the Mavic Air that's, I think it's called Boomerang. Have y'all played with that? Excuse me, hiccups. Have y'all played with the Boomerang mode yet? Yeah, man, this thing is, from a design perspective, this thing is slick. I mean, it really is. Super slick. Just, it's amazing when you think that potentially this could be the same performance that a Phantom 4 offers in such a small and lightweight package. So, but even though it's lightweight, it's still got enough weight to it to where it feels as if it'll likely handle well in mild wind, and that's important because, you know, you don't want something that's too light where it just gets tossed around in the wind. Yeah, I mean, this is cool, but yeah, I mean, this is, you know, Mavic Air in hand, and it's killing me that I hadn't been able to fly it yet. So as soon as the sun rises, I'm going to have everything ready to roll. I got my cameras charged, and I'm going to try to capture, for this flight, I'm going to do the in-app. I'm going to record the in-app view and just, you know, try to get y'all as realistic of an experience as possible for YouTube here. So, with that being said, I'm going to watch a movie on traditional, actually not traditional television. I'm going to rent something on streaming service. Biendo says, how can you record the app view? There's actually several ways to do it depending upon whether you're using Android or or iOS device. For iOS device, it's, and I don't know, there may be a more optimal way to do it, but the way I do it, I take my MacBook Pro out in the field and I run a program on it. So what I do, I stream to my my iPhone to the MacBook Pro, and I capture it from there. But the thing is, you're out in the field and you've got a laptop with you, which is kind of silly. What's this thing? This thing popped out here. This is one thing I love this controller, but this thing's kind of finicky. The piece on the bottom that holds a smartphone. I've never been sold on this design. A little piece just pops out. See, I don't even know why they even bother with putting this piece in there, because it just slides around. It's hard to get the back of that to stay pushed into that. I don't know. B-Endo says, figured you'd use screen recording. So, yeah, I use the laptop, so I don't know, there may be, are you talking about, is there a screen recording feature built in for doing that? Yeah, these sticks feel nice, and I like how they got the little ridges on the top to grab your fingertips, especially in hot weather when you're out, you're sweaty and stuff, or maybe you got suntan lotion on. You know, this just makes it easier to grip. So that's really cool. Yeah, well, it's gonna be a long night. Waiting for daylight to be able to go out and fly. So with that being said, I'm going to go watch a movie and get ready for a very eventful and hopefully positive experience. You know, I want this drone to perform well. So I'll find out tomorrow. Y'all find out as soon as I get back to the studio and get all of the first Mavic Air flight test videos up. So stay tuned, and if you haven't subscribed already, you know, be sure to do so. It's youtube.com/IrixGuy. Again, check out epicdroneshow.com. You can find the Mavic Air accessories, and all other drones here as well. And be sure to subscribe, youtube.com/IrixGuy. Y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.